morning. This is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to season 4 and episode number, what are we at now?
386.
386, yes, of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. Yay! Today, recording day, is Tuesday, May 21st, post-long weekend. Hope you had a beaverific one. I sure did. Of course, then again, my favorite day of the whole year took place on the weekend, so.
Your birthday.
Yes. The one day of the year that it's actually all about me. Well.
No, I'm not denying that.
X number of years ago, on this day, I decided to grace this planet with my presence. You may thank me. So, yes, great weekend. Family, friends, a little art, a little culture, some cake, right?
Cake.
Ice cream, and all calorie free because it's birthday, which is the law, at least here in the realm of the Beaver Lodge. Queen Beaver said so. She makes the rules. So, yeah, lovely weekend. So I hope you had one too. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver. And with me, as you can hear, is my good friend, Mr. Grizzly. A big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. Mr. Grizzly, how's your mental health today?
Okay. I'm just really tired. Long weekends are enjoyable, but you seldom get any rest during a long weekend, and that was definitely the case for me. It was nonstop, back-to-back, wall-to-wall busyness. I mean, I was at a barbecue yesterday, a Brazilian barbecue, where the amount of steak that was served was like,
Meat sweats?
Good Lord.
Meat sweat level?
Oh, way beyond that.
I went to Brazilian barbecue once, had meat sweats once. Never again do I want them. It was not fun.
Oh, there was so much food. It was great.
Oh my God.
It was so.
The food was great.
Yeah,
the meat sweats were not fun.
There was multiple helpings of steak. Let me see. I think I did take a picture of round 2 as it was about to get put onto the queue. And it was he went with charcoal briquettes, proper charcoal briquettes.
Ooh.
Where did it?
Oh, sorry.
No, I do have it somewhere. But, yeah.
That needed more bass.
I have it somewhere. I'll just I'll zip it up here in a minute, and I'll put it on the screen so everybody can see how much food was consumed. It was just, oh good Lord, so much food. So much food.
So, yeah, like I mentioned, everything went well here. I'll have a couple of photos for you as well, kits later on from the play and stuff. But yes, last show, sold out house, standing ovation. Family was there. Niece and nephew got to see it. It's only the second time they've seen their Uncle Douglas on stage. And the most cherished thing of all is my niece gave me a friendship bracelet.
Oh, cool. Cool.
Uh-huh. Boom, boom, boom. I'm in the club.
Nice.
So, yeah. I mean, come on. When you have one niece, I guess the second she sees you, she says, I got something for you, and puts a friendship bracelet on. It's like, that's a good moment. Does the soul a lot of good. So it was a beautiful weekend. All right. Did you do anything this weekend?
Yeah. Did a lot of work around the house. Did some work in the studio. Did some work at Bridget's place. Got a lot of walks in with Ms. Lola. And, of course, Brazilian barbecue yesterday. And there was round 3.
Oof.
Oh, no, that was round 2 of the steaks. There was 3 rounds of steaks like that.
Whoa.
3. A lot of food.
Woohoo. All right. In the news, Kids and Cubs, relatively slow.
Yeah, not a lot. Well, there was the whole, that Donald Trump saying that he wants to create a Unified Reich, literally in one of his videos, one of his promo videos. I'm like,
yeah. Listen, when it comes to over the next week and a half, anything that comes out of that pie hole, just know that it's tainted by the fact that Michael Cohen has ended his testimony, and that the prosecution has rested, and that the defense is probably going to present maybe one witness. And even though what's his face here says, I would love to testify. Well, he's listen, when it comes to testifying, he's been like Mariah Carey. He's sung every note rather than pick one. So probably not going to testify unless it's like super, super Hail Mary. And they think, it's like, well, maybe like we can convince one person on the jury somehow who might be a little, right? If I give him the old razzle dazzle on the stand, maybe I can get one, but probably not. So it could be quite likely, because we had a long weekend, but this coming weekend is a long weekend in the United States.
Yes.
So, and this is pretty much open shut case if you have 12 people on the jury who actually are impartial and are actually looking at the evidence. So, this could very well be that the defense presents this one witness. They rest today. Probably some type of technical witness. They rest today. The jury is deliberating, and you know what? Let's get a decision in by Thursday because we want to go for a long weekend. So Ronald Frump Rump Roast, I guess, may actually be a convicted criminal by the end of the week.
It's entirely possible.
So he's going to be moving a lot of wind.
Well, here's the video. I have 30-second clip of this video. You got to see this. It's just bombastic to say the least, but I'll pause it at a very specific moment.
What happens after Donald Trump wins? What's next for America?
What's that say right there? The creation of a unified Reich.
Whoa!
The economy booms. American energy is unleashed, and an end to crushing taxes. The border is closed, and the largest deportation in history is underway.
15 million illegal aliens deported.
No more wars as we focus on home.
No more wars.
Law and order is restored. The American dream is back, and the best is yet to come. Make America great again. What happens after Donald Trump wins?
Just, yeah.
Did we just see that?
Yeah. 15 million illegal aliens deported. You do realize that will crush the U.S. economy if that was to happen. Do you know how many industries rely upon illegal aliens to get shit done? I'm not joking when I say that, because they're paid under the table at less than minimum wage. And these businesses rely upon it. What will happen if they deport 15 million people? Their economy is going to crash. You can't take 15 million people out of the workforce. Yeah. Bombastic. Over the top.
Whoa.
I told you.
I'm speechless.
I know. He literally, he keeps telling us exactly who he is, you know. A unified Reich.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, AP's picked up on the story, too. Some social media account shares a campaign video with a headline about a unified Reich. Like, yeah.
Oh, my word.
Yeah,
I
know. Yeah,
okay.
You're seldom speechless, but here we are. Yeah.
I'm going to the AP article. A video posted to Donald Trump's account on a social media network Monday included references to a unified Reich among hypothetical news headlines if he wins the election in November. The headline appears among messages flashing across the screen, such as Trump wins and economy booms. Other headlines appear to be references to World War I. The word Reich is often largely associated with Nazi Germany's Third Reich, though the references in the video Trump shared appeared to be a reference to the formation of the modern pan-German nation, unifying smaller states into a single Reich or empire in 1871. Yeah, except what states is he unified? Okay. The 30-second video appeared on Trump's account at a time when the presumptive Republican nominee for president, while seeking to portray President Joe Biden as soft on anti-Semitism, has himself repeatedly faced criticism for using language and rhetoric associated with Nazi Germany. Posted and shared on the former president's Truth Social account while he was on a lunch break from his Manhattan hush money trial. Yeah. While you're in court for a criminal trial, maybe not issue propaganda with references to Third Reich in the. I'm just saying, if you want to improve your odds, what the fuck?
Well, one of the tweets I'm reading right now. I'm not going to put it on the screen, but I'll say it once. All we have to do now is let Christy Nome know that the orange turd is a sick puppy, and all our problems will be solved.
Oh my God, that's not that. No, I can't make those.
No.
Those are.
That's why I said I'm not putting it on the screen. I'm just like, wow.
Jeez. Those are. Oh boy! Wow. Yeah, and listen, you've probably seen it as well since we're talking U.S. It devolved into a shit show the other day between Representative Jasmine Crockett, who I think we've shown once on this show because she had just delivered a Julia Sugarbaker style takedown at one point. And yeah, there was, I'm not exactly sure what committee was meeting or something, but it was a committee on which Marjorie Taylor Greene was also sitting. And it's devolved very, very quickly. Now there's a whole bunch of stuff that has fallen out of this in terms of debates about language, debates about
Jasmine Crockett.
racism. debates about, but without condoning language, just look how this just becomes a shit show. When you have people that are someplace for the purposes of being shit disturbers rather than rowing in the same direction of the team as the rest of the team, this is what happens.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Mershon's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What?
Okay, let's put a stop right there. Okay, they're at a committee hearing this because some people want to file articles of impeachment against the Attorney General. She's asking about, Marjorie Taylor Greene's asking about Judge Mershon. Judge Mershon is the judge in Trump's case. Are any of the Democrats employing his daughter? And somebody says, is she a porn star? Okay. Trump's got a gag order where he can't go and defame everybody. So now he's gotten everybody on the Republican team to do it for him because there's no gag orders on them. They're showing up at the court now. Some of them have even missed time in the legislature to show up at court. The speaker, Mike Johnson, went to a mic and basically said that the justice system was corrupt. The Speaker of the House, the Speaker of the House is telling the American people. And this is what we get. Are you hiring her? Are you hiring the judge's daughter? Is she a porn star?
Yeah.
Then.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
your
please regain order of your committee?
Order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play. with
Baby
me.
girl? I don't think
we are going to
so.
move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
So who will have to pay us? Okay.
That's how
Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
should apologize.
recognizes
No.
Mr.
She
Perry.
should apologize.
Okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Green
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're
reserve
not
the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the
it's
minority.
pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
lady's
as well.
I move to
I would
strike
like to
the
strike
lady's
as well.
words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the words.
There's another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right.
get
Okay.
your members under
Here's
control.
the correct parliamentary. Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll
All
strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection.
Not apologizing.
21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
I'm
parliament.
trying to find clarification on what qualifies.
Chairman,
I didn't-
motion to
I
strike
had no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
You just voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you
You
don't want to
just
talk about it.
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this
I
is
would
what
like to
y'all
get
do.
through proceeding.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Ms.
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And you
yelling.
don't want me
Calm
to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Chairman, Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right,
Sorry.
Chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes.
Jesus. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
the preschool from which no one graduates.
Clearly. Jasmine Crockett, I don't think you should try and take her on. She's a black congresswoman from Dallas, Texas. That lady knows how to be tough.
Marjorie Taylor Greene was only there to cause shit.
Mm-hmm. That was it.
Only there to cause shit.
Nothing more.
There's nothing she said in that whole that had anything to do with why they were there. That's why Jasmine Crockett says, do you know why we're here?
Mm-hmm.
Who's to discuss your guys' move to try to impeach.
Mm-hmm.
She's sabotaging her own party's move to try to impeach Merrick Garland by bringing up Mershon and sending the whole thing.
She's not very smart. She's really not.
Nobody likes her. And I give permission to strike the words, but I don't apologize. Sounds a lot like I withdraw and replace.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
On the day that the runt got punted from the House of Commons. They're both doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They're both using their hearings and their House of Commons or their Congress time to do these things, to get these clips, to hijack the process.
That's all it is. Nothing more.
Conservatives turn around and they say like this, oh, we're not Americanizing, we're not like that. It's the same damn playbook.
Mm-hmm.
I withdraw and replace was the Canadian version of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's one playbook. It's all downloaded from the IDU central brain.
Mm-hmm.
None of this is original. None of this is because they're stupid or they're obtuse. This is a plan. It's strategic. This is what they are doing with your money.
Well,
this is how they are respecting your time. We got to demand better.
Yeah.
We got to demand better, kids. Ah, boy. Now, here's a good one. We have Karina Gould. We haven't seen her a lot because, well, she's away on maternity leave. But, well, she has a way of putting things, right? And delivering things simply. And, you know, she looks like a nice, sweet person who would just be kind. But you don't mess with her either.
No, she's smart.
Yes, she's whip smart. I love this. So please.
As we head into the May long weekend, here's something that we should all reflect on. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Poilievre said the quiet part out loud. In speaking with the Canadian Police Association, he casually mentioned that he was going to make his own laws and use the notwithstanding clause to make them charter compliant. He basically said that he was going to start taking away the rights of Canadians. But he intimated, don't worry, not your rights, the rights of others. Now, when someone tells you that they're going to start taking away the rights of Canadians, alarm bells should go up, because it might not be your rights today, but it could very well be your rights tomorrow. And let's not forget, Mr. Poilievre has done this before. When he was Minister of Democratic Reform, he was the first Canadian minister, to my knowledge, to take away the democratic rights of Canadians. He made it harder for 500,000, 500,000 Canadians to vote federally. And alarm bells went up at the time. Whether it was elections experts, observers, academics, the media, Canadians writ large were concerned that he was making Canada less democratic. And if you are worried and watching what's happening in the United States with horror when it comes to reproductive rights, just remember, his anti-women's rights conservative MPs and the anti-choice movement here in Canada are already thinking about how they can apply those same laws and make it harder for Canadian women to access abortion and healthcare here in Canada. Now, when I was Minister of Democratic Institutions, I reversed his anti-democratic laws and made it easier for hundreds of thousands of Canadians to vote. Because at the end of the day, I believe in people's right to vote, and I believe in their right to democracy. And our government is committed to making sure that we uphold the rights of Canadians, whether it's their right to access abortion, their right to healthcare, or their right to participate in democracy. We are going to do that. So this long weekend, I challenge you to figure out how you are going to continue to protect our rights and freedoms. And I'll give you a hint. It starts by telling Mr. Poilievre to keep his hands off of the rights and freedoms of all Canadians.
Don't miss with Miss Gould.
And did you notice?
School you.
And did you notice the delivery?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Effortless. Walking, casually talking, conversational, hand movements, gestures, facial expressions, just normal, like she's just having a chat. Really? Do you know how hard it is to do that? To talk for that long?
I don't
hardly make a stumble, look casual, look natural, walking, looking at the camera. She's good. She's real good.
Oh, yes.
Yep. Calm and rational, Tabby G. Tone and countertone. Because calm and rational is not what the PP cons are giving us now, is it? It's a battle of tone and countertone. I love her. And now we know why conservatives dislike her particularly, because, well, after 20 years of Pierre Poilievre, only one legislative achievement, and, well, she reversed it, so he's got none.
Mm-hmm.
2 decades of Poilievre. One legislative achievement, which ended up sinking his party, and then was summarily reversed. What a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy thinks he can be prime minister. I don't know, but any job I've been at for 20 years and didn't produce one thing,
I think I'd be asked to not come back.
I don't think I would have the balls to be asking for promotion. And then even the bigger ones was strutting around like it was inevitable that I was going to get one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think of it. Janet Jackson were singing, "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" She could have been singing the same damn song for 20 years, and his would have been sweet fuck all.
Yeah. I mean, he's never achieved anything in his pathetic, miserable life.
But he wants to be prime minister.
He just wants power. He doesn't want to govern. He only wants power.
I know, but just that's why I keep on saying, always beware of the person that really wants power.
Mm-hmm.
God, that is not good. Not good at all. All right. I just found out that all the research I did for today's show just magically vanished.
Oh, that happened.
From the file where I saved it.
Oh,
so I'm from this point on, I am flying by the seat of my pants, kids and cubs, just so you know. Yep. Everything just it was on my screen, and it's literally, well, I'll show you. literally, this is all the research I have now. Everything just disappeared.
Really?
That's it. Those are my notes. I had like 4 pages of notes, and that's all that's left. It just vanished right off my screen. I have no idea how that happened. But that's not a problem, because I remember where I got this source material. So I'll just have to go back to that. There's a big developments, not so much in Canada, but in the internationally, if we're talking about the Israel-Gaza thing. We talked about the legal action, I guess I could call it, at the International Court of Justice, where South Africa was leading the way and other countries were coming in, and they were trying to get the International Court of Justice to deliver a ruling. And the International Court of Justice doesn't really have teeth in the way that the International Criminal Court does. So it seems that the International Criminal Court is now considering issuing warrants in the whole thing. And if they're issuing warrants, it is for war crimes, right? Or crimes against humanity or something. Right now, the warrants have not been issued, there's been an application for warrants. So there will be a 3-judge panel that will consider it and that will render a decision. But the chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, this is according to the CBC, to the Associated Press, but as reported in the CBC, is seeking arrest warrants for 3 Hamas leaders. So on both sides, 3 Hamas leaders and 2 members of the government on the Israel side. The chief international prosecutor is named Karim Khan, and he says that he believes Netanyahu and that his defense minister Yoav Gallant and 3 Hamas leaders, Yewa Sinwar, Mohammed Daif, and Ismail Haniyeh, are responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity in the Gaza Strip in Israel. So the prosecutor has to request the warrants, like I said, in a pretrial panel of 3 judges. It says, according to this, takes about an average of 2 months to consider the evidence to determine if the proceedings can move forward. Now, Israel is not a member of the court, and therefore it says that it doesn't follow under its jurisdiction. But the court itself started making decisions in 2015 that says that they do have jurisdiction over Gaza. However, so if the crimes happened in Gaza, then according to the court, legally, internationally, I'm guessing the argument would be, it doesn't matter if Israel is a signatory or not to the court. The crimes didn't happen in Israel. For Israel. Now, for Hamas, if they fall under the jurisdiction of the court, then what they did in Israel would indeed be a war crime for the jurisdiction of the court, because, right? So, the argument that before 2015, the argument that that Israel wasn't a signatory was usually all that needed to be said. But now that there's some case law that's been being built over the international case law that's been going on and hasn't been challenged over the last 9 years, the court now has precedent in that sense. So according to this article, if the arrest warrants are issued, Netanyahu and Gallant do not face immediate risk of prosecution, but it could affect their ability to travel, which is not great when you're an international leader at war. Israel Foreign Minister Israel Katz said the chief prosecutor's decision to seek the arrest warrant against Israel's leaders is a, quote, historic disgrace that will be remembered forever. He said he would form a special committee to fight back against any such action and would work with world leaders to ensure that any such warrants are not enforced on Israel's leaders. Benny Gantz, a former military chief and member of Israel's war cabinet with Netanyahu and Gallant, harshly criticized Khan's announcement, saying Israel fights with, quote, one of the strictest moral codes and has a robust judiciary capable of investigating itself. Quote, the state of Israel is waging one of the just wars fought in modern history following a reprehensible massacre perpetrated by a terrorist Hamas on the 7th of October. The prosecutor's position to apply for arrest warrants is in itself a crime of historic proportion to be remembered for generations. The Hamas militant group denounced the ICC's prosecutor's request to seek the arrest of its leaders. So nobody's happy. In a statement, Hamas accused the prosecutor of trying to, quote, equate the victim with the executioner. It said it has the right to resist Israel occupation, including, quote, armed resistance. It also criticized the court for seeking the arrests of only 2 Israeli leaders and said it should seek warrants for the others. Both Sinwar and Daif are believed to be hiding in Gaza as Israel tries to hunt them down, but Hanaya, the supreme leader of the Islamic militant group, is based in Qatar and frequently travels across the region. So, and like we mentioned, the case at the International Court of Justice as well, where South Africa is accusing Israel of genocide, is still going on parallel to that. Khan's request for warrants in the Israel-Gaza conflict come about 14 minutes after the court issued an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin for war crimes, accusing him of personal responsibility for abductions of children from Ukraine. So, this raises things up a very significant notch.
Mm-hmm.
The application.
What becomes of it, we don't know. But
if the warrants are granted, it will raise it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and it seems that over there are also some. Netanyahu's government is not as united as it was. So you have Benny Gantz, who we mentioned here, and Yoav Gallant, who is now as a warrant. Both of them, these terms are all like really relative, for lack of better words. They're more moderate than Netanyahu. So they're kind of like thinking, you know what, this is my stop.
Mm-hmm.
One of them actually sort of put out an ultimatum saying, like, if things weren't fixed by about, June 8th or something, that they would walk. They would just leave the government. And it's a very, loose not a loose coalition, a thin coalition that doesn't have a huge majority in terms of seats in the Knesset. So, which would mean is if that side abandons him, Netanyahu's closest allies are the furthest right of the furthest right. The Ben Gvirs. And if it remains true that Netanyahu's interest in prosecuting this war is not only in response to what happened on October 7th, but that there's a personal interest in it as well, because, well, he himself is on trial. Or not on trial, I don't know how, I don't know what you would say, but he's at risk for corruption of various kinds of going to jail himself, which is why he was trying to change the laws for how the Supreme Court can do its thing, that was leading to the protests that were happening in Israel before all of this started. So Netanyahu has a vested interest in keeping this war going for as long as possible, because so long as he's doing that, he assumes he cannot be prosecuted for everything that happened before the war, for which his own country was prosecuting him.
Mm.
So yeah, it's quite possible that in a few months from now, Israel could have a new leader.
It's entirely plausible, yes.
Because of Benny Gantz pulls his support and brings his faction with him out, it becomes much harder for Netanyahu to prosecute the war. And if his allies are only the people who are on the furthest right, that only sets him up to be doing things that are even more violent. And arguably genocide-y. I'm not. This could take a bad turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because once again, as was the case for the president of Iran, it's the devil you know. It's who replaces. And in that case, what they're talking about, it seems that I didn't know this, but until this morning, but the supreme leader in Iran, the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he's 85.
Mm.
So Ibrahim Raisi really was his protege. He was like the next in line. It was just going to be him. And now it looks like the successor will be his eldest son, the current supreme leader's eldest son. So now it starts looking a bit like a family dynasty rather than a... So, but again, is everybody in those upper echelons going to be happy with that? This is a lot of stuff. Again, 3 pools: Saudi Arabia, Israel, and Iran. Netanyahu might not be prime minister a couple of months from now, and Iran is going to have a new president. And there's probably going to be a power struggle for who gets to become the next supreme leader. That brings lots of potential for instability.
Mm-hmm.
And really, really bad decision making. So, hold on to your hats, kids. Cross your fingers. Because, yeah, things might be getting a little rough in international news. All right. Do you have something, Mr. Grizzly?
There's just lots of stuff that's coming across my feed, but none of it's really pertinent or
okay,
blending into the conversation this morning. I'm just trying to filter through as much of it as I can. But
there's also
the one thing I do. Did we discuss? We did discuss that yesterday. How Polyev lied blatantly about how all rifles will be made illegal.
Yeah.
And we discussed that already.
Yep. Okay. Well, no, there's more stuff here. The federal government, for people out west, Kit Cassie, and who are especially people who are into farming. For people who farm, who earn their living. I'm really into farming. Sometimes you start a sentence and it's like, I know what I want to say, but I leapt off the wrong foot, so I don't know how to save the sentence. But the federal government has appointed a new head of the Canadian Grain Commission. His name is David Hunt. He has 28 years experience in the agricultural world, and I believe he was in politics beforehand. He says, I've been involved in the agricultural sector for over 25 years, and most recently I worked in the government of Manitoba as an assistant deputy minister of agriculture. So this opportunity came up and they invited people to compete for the role of chief commissioner, and it's something that appealed to me, in part because of the mandate of the Canadian Grain Commission, the commission's reputation, and being able to take my skills from a provincial level to a national level. So he's only days in, so he doesn't, when they're asking him about what are your plans or whatnot, I'm still trying to familiarize myself with it. And there are, the way that it's structured is that there's a commissioner, but he's got a team of 3 people under him that are there are more people, but like 3 key people there as well. So it sort of makes like a bit like a 4-person group that really looks at things. But he's talking about stuff like when, because we don't get to hear about it, they're asking about what it is that does it do. Well, their role is to ensure the quality and consistency of grain supply. They have a large role in grading grain, and they have a role in variety development. So the Canadian Grain Commission actually has a huge scientific component to it, because as the environment changes, they have to be doing research. So they actually have a grain research lab in Winnipeg to confirm standards and to be able to find other ways of ensuring quality, consistency, and safety of the grain. And like I said, probably adapting a variety of grains for how weather changes. More drought resistant, be able to better tolerate heat, that type of stuff. So yeah, new commissioner at the Federal Grain Commission. Never thought I'd be reporting on that.
No.
But hey,
something,
but it's a big country, right? Like
Yeah.
this, and we, it was like, we talk a lot about the cities and whatnot, but these are the types of things, there's a whole bunch of people in Canada who live in rural areas, and these types of news items are super important for them.
Oh, yes. Well, you remember when we were younger, there used to be the Farm Report early in the morning on
Right.
television. And of course, they SCTV parodied that with the Farm Film Report. Big Jim, Billy Saw Hurock, and Big Jim, I can't remember what Big Jim's name was. It was John Candy and the late, geez, he just passed away. They're both gone now, when I think about it. Not Eugene Levy. No, he's still very much with us.
Joe Flaherty?
Thank you, Joe Flaherty
Okay.
and John Candy. Big Jim McBob and Billy Saul Hurock. May the good Lord take a liking to you and blow you up real soon. All they ever talked about was, I remember that movie Thunderball? Yeah, they all blowed up real good in that one. Everybody gets blowed up in the movies. So it was a take on the Farm Report that we used to get, which talked about, the weather and grain prices and so on and so forth. But that seems to have disappeared. I haven't seen that in decades.
Neither have I.
But I do remember that vividly when I was a child. That was on very early in the morning. The Farm Report was on before farmers would go out to, tend to the fields. They'd watch the Farm Report and then go on with their day. I just had something come across my feed here that I did not know about this before. This was from last night, actually. Just a reminder that Speaker Mike Johnson, so Speaker of the House in the United States, has proposed cuts of $2 trillion from Medicare, $3 trillion from Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, and $750 billion from Social Security. Basically, what he's saying is, to hell with the poors. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Indeed.
$5 trillion in cuts and another $750 billion from Social Security. Almost $6 trillion. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Crazy, eh? That's money. Man. Jagmeet Singh is using his favorite word again, forced.
Of course.
But this case, he's going to force a vote in the House of Commons on imposing an excess profits tax on big grocers as Canadians struggle with rising foods. He sent a letter to both Trudeau and Poilievre stating that they were prompted to act, quote, because both of them refused to meaningfully tackle corporate greed. Quote, due to your failure, Canadians are paying high prices and they've had to take matters in their own hands by boycotting big grocery stores, forcing big grocery chains. Sorry, I forgot to drink. Big grocery chains to pay what they owe would encourage them to lower their prices. It would also help recover some of the money you have both handed out to big grocery store chains so that Canadians could get another grocery rebate to give them more breathing room in their family budgets. When he's talking about more money, there was another $26 million through that Environment Adaptation Fund or whatnot to help Loblaw and another chain, I can't remember which one it was, to buy more equipment that would reduce the carbon footprint. The NDP says it will force the debate today on concurring with a motion passed by the House Finance Committee calling for an excess profit tax on grocers. Now, when Jagmeet Singh says that he's forcing the federal government to that. Just a note, on March 22nd, iPolitics reported that Liberal MPs voted in favor of excess profits tax for big grocery chains. So Jagmeet here is going to claim that he's forcing them to do something they've already done.
Of course he is.
Just so you know. Okay. It's all staging, folks. It's all staging. Singh's letter, dated May 17th, said the NDP's effort would give Poilievre and Trudeau a chance to show people where you stand. It is the government's role to protect consumers from the unmitigated corporate greed that continues to drive up prices. The committee motion was introduced by NDP MP Daniel Blakey early in the year, and it was passed with support from Liberals and Bloc Québécois. So both the Liberals and the Bloc and the NDP all agree.
Mm-hmm.
And they've already voted that they've agreed. So again, when Mr. Singh says we're forcing the government.
Yeah, that's a poor choice of words.
But it was a committee motion introduced by the NDP. So give credit as Daniel Blakey. But of course, Daniel Blakey has since resigned as an MP to take a job with Wapcanoe in Manitoba. So,
yes.
Well, you know, all Conservative committee members voted in opposition. Just so you know, Conservative MP Philip Lawrence, which is the guy we showed you on the video, he was sitting in the committee and he was doing the "oh come on" thing like this and trying to Americanize in it a little bit. Yeah, the guy that actually wasn't on the committee, but like had somebody tap out to sub in so he could do that little piece of performance art on that particular day. That guy here. Conservative MP Philip Lawrence said at the time that his party agreed that Canada was facing an affordability crisis, but noted, quote, "There's a very easy solution to reducing the cost of food, and that's to eliminate the carbon tax." Yes, and once you've eliminated the carbon tax and the grocery chain just decides to not change the price whatsoever, or you've eliminated the carbon tax and your loaf of bread goes down 1.2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how we'll feast tonight.
Yeah,
all you have to do, Canada, to make food more affordable so that nobody ever goes hungry again and all the children are fed in all the schools is just eliminate the carbon tax. And then if you still can't eat, well, it's your own damn fault because you're just too damn lazy. Pull yourself up by your damn bootstraps. We got nothing for you.
Yeah. See, because I thought
we eliminated the carbon tax. You should be able to eat now.
The school food program was actually going to help with that problem. That was the one the Conservatives voted against, feeding children. Remember that. Remember that when you vote next time. Remember that, folks. They voted against feeding children.
They're supposed to serve all Canadians, but I guess kids can't vote or donate or run a corporation. So I guess we'll fuck them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to eat. Come on, Johnny. Canada can't afford Pierre Poilievre's next round of trips. And to make sure you get some pablum. Who's going to be my little trooper? You are. You'll take the hit for Uncle Pee-Pee, won't you? Yes, you will. Who's a good boy? That's the Conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Terrible.
We can't afford Daddy Pee-Pee's basket of apples for his new rally and your kidney transplant this year.
You gotta, he needs that rally apples. Gotta have the rally apples, man. Gotta have them.
Besides, you only need one kidney.
Yeah, you can survive with one.
Come on. Find that rugged individualism.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
We gotta wrap, sir. I have to take care of a couple of things before I head into the office, and I'm running really short on time. So let's put a bow on this one.
All right, get some
and head her on out.
Right. That's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We hope that you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So please tell your peeps and poops all about us. If you do not want to miss an episode, you do not have to. Thanks to the Ray Girl, she sponsored our pod page. And if you scan the QR code that Mr. Grizzly will just put up right there, right on cue. Thank you, good sir. Or go to podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with a hyphen between each one of those words. When you click subscribe there, when we have something fresh off the bandwidth, boom, it comes directly to you. And if you would like to get a little more beaver in your life, well then, you just need to march on down to our merch store at our Etsy shop. And if you go there, you'll find a whole bunch of items that you might like, a whole bunch of swag for you that has our True North Eager Beaver logo on it, so that you can show the world that you are an informed and engaged citizen. Thank you so much for going there. And today, for some reason, I believe it's etsy.com/ca/shop/TNEB merch store off the top of my head. Yesterday I got it, but I'm not sure if I got it right today. But that's okay. And if you would like to help us in other ways, yes, it is. There we go. Etsy.com/ca/shop/TNEB merch store. If you would like to help us in other ways, please make like Elaine and go to our YouTube page. Have a beyond awesome day, everyone. Remember to smash the button before you leave, she advises. So if you go there, like, share, subscribe, let people know about us. Thank you very much. It helps us. We're really trying to get to 1,000. And let's try to see if we can do it by Canada Day. That would be fun. It would be the exactly 2-year anniversary of our channel.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, let's see if we get to 1,000 by Canada Day. And if you would like to help us in another way still, the QR code by Mr. Grizzly's Head brings you to our tip jar. So if you like the show, you find that we bring you good information and solid analysis, and we curate news for you that you enjoyed listening to, and maybe you just like us. And you want to encourage us to do more, please go over there and treat us to a cup of coffee or a cup of hot chocolate. We would really appreciate it. Thanks. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your because democracy is something that you do. I am sorry. If you live in Nova Scotia, there is a by-election today, I believe, in the town of Pictou. So whatever by-election is there, for some reason the writing is not there. Pictou West, sorry, there you go. So if you're there, please make sure that you go to vote. Very, very, very important. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying it could be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, some words of wisdom, please.
I'm going to borrow them from somebody else this morning because I'm really tired.
Okay.
This is somebody doing something nice for a family member in a very strange way. If you're familiar with this individual, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Let's just say he's a character in and of himself. This is Two-Turnt Tony, who is on TikTok, and I'm just trying to load up a video here from him on Twitter. It's a TikTok video that he has on Twitter. And, he's helping out his sister. And it's kind of, just watch.
So my first OnlyFans paycheck came in today, and I'm going to use 20 grand of it to pay off my sister's student loans. Because why the fuck not?
Anthony, you're going to break my fucking door! Oh my god, ow, oh my god! What is all this?
That is your student loans. What? Paid in full by my penis.
It's really weird, but thank you. A blessing what you did for your sister. But did you ever think you should take that fucking money and buy your own fucking house?
I don't know if you noticed the duck he has with him. He has a pet duck that he takes with him everywhere. And his girlfriend wears a ski mask everywhere she goes. We have no idea what her face is like. Two-Turnt Tony, you can find him on TikTok. He's really funny. And that was, like I said, he did a nice thing for his sister in a very strange way.
Just right word. Okay. Speechless to start, speechless to end.
I'll see ya.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors. The Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, their uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community. And The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music. Just wanted to mention it because we had it in the title, but we never actually talked about it in the show. The Oilers are now officially Canada's team in the Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Yep.
3-2 win against the Vancouver Canucks. So the Oilers will be facing the Dallas Stars, and the Rangers will be facing the Panthers in the other conference final. And I really do want to see a whole bunch of Edmonton Oilers fans in Oilers gear dancing the Beyonce dance to This Ain't Texas when they come to town.
Well,
boom.
It's a
Somebody make it happen.
Tex-Alberta conference final.
Woo! This ain't Texas. Woo! Come on, Oilers, go get it.
I'll see you.